So if you really want to make the big money in real estate, especially on the wholesaling side, okay, you want to get your acquisition fees, your wholesale fees game on tight, then you really want to be in a high cash market. Okay, so I'm going to tell you which markets are doing the most cash, but in general, as a wholesaler and really as an agent, as well, you want to work with cash buyers as much as possible. Why? Because it's easier. Right? No lending restrictions, no appraisal really necessary.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house. Buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I'm your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum, recording live from our downtown studios with my executive producer, Mr. Jonathan Winston.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be back.
Glad to have you, man. How you been? How's tricks?
Man, it's good. It's been good. Things have been all right here recently. Closed a couple deals. As far as the wholesale and side, so that's been nice. Been setting up more of the business going into 2022, but looking down at my feet, I'm looking at my Yeezys and they're kind of dusty right now. Like,
I don't know how we turned into a Yeezy conversation.
These are like some of my favorite pairs. So what I'm trying to get around to is I need to go ahead and get some more deals and get some more things closed so I can add some more
Daddy
to my
needs a new pair of shoes. That's what you're saying.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Papa needs some new shoes. I like that. I'm not. I know there's some sneakerheads out there. I've never been that into it, but I respect the game. I respect the sneaker game. There's a lot going on. Have you seen this? The sneaker NFTs.
That's kind of like the next level, and I've taken a look at it a little bit, but that is.
It's cool, right? Like,
that's gonna be pretty legit because just the idea of having a nice shoe and whatever goes with that is awesome. But being able to have like a digital copy of it, and then
it's gonna outlive the shoe itself, right?
And,
so
it's
and you can still say you own that specialized pair of Jordans from 1989 or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's insane, but it's a digital copy. You can't wear those shoes. If those you know what I'm talking about, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, kind of taking over. And we're going to do a show on real estate NFTs here coming up, but it's just fascinating that it's taking place in the shoe market because it's a pretty cool thing. Let's get to the show today. The title of the show is Where the Money At?
Where the money? Where the money?
There's a couple rap songs that were done on that, right?
Must be the money.
Baby, got my money, don't you worry.
ODB.
Say hey.
I like that one a little bit better than it.
So we're asking, where is the money at? And this article by Realtor.com is talking about the housing markets with the largest surges in cash sales. Now, first of all, let's reposition what this show is about a little bit, okay? On the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, we're talking to real estate professionals, including licensed and unlicensed professionals. Agents are included in there. We're talking to wholesalers who make their living off of finding properties and selling them to cash buyers. And of course, we're talking to those who do the fix and flips. I say, of course, because that's my side of the equation. I do mostly fix and flip stuff. But this article is speaking to where the majority of the cash purchases are taking place in the U.S. So whether you're an agent, a wholesaler, or a real estate like flipper, you want to know this, okay? Because the housing markets with the largest surges in cash sales are where the money's at.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And now just imagine this. Normally, you get a property under contract. So let's follow the process. You find the house. That's a process in and of itself, right?
Okay.
You got to get the inspection done if you're getting a loan, the appraisal done if you're getting a loan, right? Then you go through underwriting. That process, all said and done, usually takes 30 days. Recently, it's taking longer, though, because appraisers are short right now. We don't have many appraisers in the marketplace. So now you can see that the underwriting, normal, conventional closing process could take 30 to 45 days easily and maybe longer. Okay. And it's maddening because the amount of money that we are spending on interest on the properties that we buy is simply going up. See, in this game, time truly is money. All right. Now, this article, where the housing market with the largest surge in cash sales are the marketplaces where people are literally going from contract to close. And I just want to tell you my record on that, okay, was 36 hours. And I went from contract to close in 36 hours flat. Okay. And that's very difficult to do if you're getting a loan, but it's super easy to do if you're paying cash for the property. Right? So if you really want to make the big money in real estate, especially on the wholesaling side, okay, you want to get your acquisition fees, your wholesale fees game on tight, then you really want to be in the high cash market. Okay, so I'm going to tell you which markets are doing the most cash, but in general, as a wholesaler and really as an agent, as well, you want to work with cash buyers as much as possible. Why? Because it's easier. Right? No lending restrictions, no appraisal really necessary. Some of them do inspections. I can tell you I am a cash buyer. I often don't even do an inspection, right? I can walk to the property and go, looks solid, and I can close on Friday. Right. So let's do this, right?
A lot less barriers between you and your money as an agent when you're working with that cash buyer. You don't have, like you say, you don't have to work with all that lending. You don't have to work with the appraiser who's not calling you back and who's had to reschedule you a billion times. So come on, people. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about big money here.
Absolutely. So the cash purchases, according to this article, rose to the highest level since the first quarter of 2015 this year. All cash purchases now make up 34% of all single-family homes and condo sales in some markets. 34%. Whereas, in the past, you could maybe be at 10 or 15% going to cash. So it is the time now to understand that the institutional investors, the guys who are sitting on a whole bunch of moolah, right, from whatever source, I can tell you my funding sources, my lending partners, the people that provide me the hard and loose private money that I utilize to buy properties. So when I say I'm a cash buyer, it's not necessarily my cash. See what I'm saying? So that's a discretion that a lot of people don't quite get. Well, I don't have $300,000 in cash. Nobody said you had to have the cash.
It's called OPM, people.
OPM, right? Like ODB.
Other people's money.
Right. Better have my money, right? Now. So these cash buyers are popping up in places like Columbus, Georgia, which makes up 74.6% of all sales in 2021 have been cash, baby.
Shout out Columbus, Georgia. My family is there, and that's actually where I'm going for Thanksgiving.
Really?
This year. So I'm going to be probably driving around.
You better go find some cash. You better drive for some dollars, player.
looking around, see what I can find.
That's awesome. All right, so 74%, Atlanta, 69%. Atlanta's a massive metropolitan district. Yeah. So to have 69% of all sales be unfinanced cash deals gives you an idea of how much cash there is in the market. My hedge fund is they got their cash from major investments in cryptocurrency, right? So suddenly they're sitting on this wealth of cash and they're deploying that cash. These guys said our problem, this sounds like a crazy problem to have. The problem is they made so much money, and you can imagine buying Bitcoin at even 1,000 a coin, let's just say, right? Which is not that great of a deal because Bitcoin was trading at $2 or even, a cent of percentage of a penny for a while, right? So I know, if we all bought a bunch of Bitcoin at $1,000 a coin, it's trading today at about $65,000 a coin. You know what I'm saying? If you had picked up a bunch of those, a couple thousand, suddenly you're sitting on a bunch of digital assets, right? It's not real money yet. When you convert it to cash, the federal government wants their take on it, right? The longer that money is sitting still, the more of it the federal government is going to get, and the less it's worth. Okay? Inflation is running unchecked right now at unprecedented amounts. We are printing money at an astounding rate. So the money that was worth X amount of dollars is now worth maybe 95% of that. And we can see that's the case because milk is costing more, gas is costing more, and houses are most certainly costing more right now, right? The average price of a home in Colorado Springs not 2 years ago was about $375,000. Today, it's $500,000. It's the same house. The house itself didn't change. What did change? The buying power. Okay, so now cash truly is king because you want to get an asset, cash, American currency that is devaluing rapidly, and you want to buy hard assets with it as quickly as feasibly possible. And in these marketplaces, including like a couple cities in Georgia, which I find astounding, but Macon, Georgia made the list. And then it goes to Youngstown, Ohio, 56.6% cash buyers, and Detroit, 56.2%. I don't know who's buying anything in Detroit. But y'all need to stop that. I don't know what's going on. Detroit is terrible. I'm sorry. If you're from Detroit, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm shooting straight with you. Like, there's no reason to live in Detroit.
I don't know. They keep on saying it's on, it's on the upward incline. It's on the upper rise. It's coming back.
Man, Detroit has to because they can't go any further down. At Detroit's bottom, did you know they were burning houses? They were burning properties down in Detroit because they had too much real estate. The only way to reduce supply was to burn property. That's how crazy Detroit got.
Yeah, that's pretty
right?
wild.
And I'm not talking about a riot. I'm talking about like these were controlled burns. Let's take out entire neighborhoods, level them so we can start over.
Not seeing that in the Springs anytime soon.
No. The land value alone is worth more than Detroit. All right. So, I'm sorry, Detroit. You know I love you. You guys had Motown, right? You had your time. You had your time, right? So we get back to it. If you're an investor in the marketplace, you want to know what the other investors are playing. Okay, not necessarily because you want to go compete, but I want you to give it some thought. If you're a top-notch wholesaler and you're not finding deals right now in Austin, Texas, you may want to consider a place in Detroit.
Yep.
You may want to consider virtually wholesaling in these top-notch cities because the guys in the know, the ones who are moving this cash, are already aware of where the big growth cities are. They've done their analysis. They understand what's happening. Let's just imagine that the automotive market is going to see this big surge, and maybe it is. Detroit is kind of the center of the universe as it relates to the automotive world. GM, Ford, et cetera, a lot of big central hubs, factories that are there. Maybe they're hedging their bets right now, right? And maybe they're dead wrong. But the point is, if you know where the cash is moving, you can go get more of it, right? And if you don't have any cash, you need to go get more of it anyway. That cash can come from private lenders, people who know, love, and trust you and expect a solid return on their investment. I pay my private lenders somewhere between 8 and 12%. I know there are guys who do it cheaper, but A, I like my people, and B, they've been around for a long time. As I get new investors, I definitely offer lower yields because I'm a proven investor today. But if you're just starting out today, you probably need to be offering, when you're trying to locate cash to do deals, somewhere between 8 and 12% right now. Okay. And then you got to figure out where that cash is moving. I can tell you that we don't have a high propensity of cash buyers here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where I'm from, because the price point is just way too damn high. Right? When your average price is $500,000, it starts to get A, harder to find that kind of cash to move it, and B, less logical to do it. Right? You got to move $500,000 to buy one asset when in Detroit you can buy 84 houses for that same price. Sorry, guys, you're making it easy on me today. Right? It makes sense to buy the 84 units in Detroit. It just does. Yeah. Right? As opposed to the one you're going to buy here. Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
See, so we're tracking the cash markets because as a wholesaler, virtual or in person, you've got to know where your cash buyers are going right now, and you should be locating deals as much as possible within those markets. Now, the next question is, Donny, are you virtually wholesaling? Are you playing in other markets? I'm not currently. I'll shoot straight to you and tell you I'm not currently. I am currently operating exclusively in my market. I have clients, coaching clients around the country that are operating exclusively within their markets. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm saying I'm keeping my eye on the ball on the market I know and love the best right here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and the Denver and Pueblo and surrounding areas, okay? That being said, if you're just getting started, you got to research all options right now. Hi, this is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. It's important to have good credit when you're buying a foreclosure. A lot of people think you can come in with bad credit, but the fact of the matter is you need pretty stable credit scores to buy a foreclosure deal. So how do you find out how to increase your credit? Well, there's tons of credit repair agencies out there and multiple formulas. But one thing we found that works is reporting your monthly rental payments to the credit bureau. We partnered with RentReporters.com, the leading provider of adding your payment history direct from your landlord onto your credit bureau scores, and it helping people to boost their scores up to 40 points in as little as 30 days. So to get started, I want you to head on out to www.foreclosuredealscoach.com. Now that's a messenger bot, and you're going to use the keyword rent to get more information about Rent Reporters and how you can boost your credit score by getting your rental reported to the credit bureaus. Once again, Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. Check it out. Right? You got to know where you need to go to get the best deals that are out there. And this article we're going to be publishing to the group page and on our Facebook page, the Foreclosure Deals Coach page, is going to tell you where the top cities are right now to start moving that cash. And those cities where a lot of cash is already moving are the best ones to locate wholesale deals because there's already multiple cash buyers because they're moving a lot of cash in that marketplace.
All you got to do is jump in a Facebook group for that area, for that town, find you a deal, post the deal in the group, see what happens. You'll probably find somebody to buy it.
Because this article is telling us a lot of people paying cash in the markets.
Right.
See, people are always asking me, how do you do this? It's so hard to get into investing. No, man, the data is there. The knowledge is there. There are a billion YouTube videos out there on how to get started and how to get going, okay? And there's a bunch of ways to figure this stuff out. And there's data that will tell you this is where the most cash buyers are right now, right? If you don't use that data, then you're sitting on the sidelines wondering and telling everybody how hard it is to get in the game. The game's not that tough, man.
There's a lot of money out there. And like we said, they're printing billions and billions of dollars of it, trillions of dollars of it.
That's right. And we talk about people who, argue with printing money for one thing. I'm one of those people. It's like, well, you're devaluing the dollar. It's not going to have any value if you keep printing it. But what's the value that supports cryptocurrency right now? Right? Why is Bitcoin $63,000 a coin right now? Because the market says so.
Right.
Okay, the same reason houses were trading for $375 and now they're trading for $500,000 for the same property because the market says so. So we can bellyache as much as we want about whether it's a good idea to let inflation run unchecked like this, but the fact of the matter is it's happening, and you can either complain about it or profit from it. Right? I choose to profit from it. I ain't saying it makes sense. I don't think it's totally logical to be paying $500,000 for a house in this market right now, which is why we end every show with don't buy a house, buy a deal. Right? I'm not condoning the market's mistakes. I'm simply telling you it's happening and we can profit from it if you understand how it works. And right here, you've got a couple of cities on this list where it's working at a great rate. The great news about wholesaling to cash buyers is you're not waiting very long on your paycheck. Right? If you want to make $20,000 this month, you can go find either one badass deal and attach a $20,000 assignment fee to that thing and walk away literally 3 or 4 days later with your cash buyer buying you out, right? Or you can find several more marginal deals where you're making $5,000, $6,000 a deal, but instead of waiting 30, 45 days to get paid, you can be getting paid inside of a matter of days. That's the benefit to operating in a cash market. We're not in a cash market here in Colorado Springs because, again, the price point's too high, but your market may vary. You should know, if you don't already, how many transactions are being done in cash in your market. And the best part about getting that list is you will also find the list of people who are buying in cash, right? And that can happen right there on Propstream.
Shameless plug.
You see what I did there?
Not that shameless.
You could hop on dealhunter.io. You could get the Propstream application, right? And you could be finding out where your cash buyers are. And then here's a word of advice, okay? Don't just approach cash buyers with, hey, I'm wondering what your buying criteria is. What do you like to buy? Every time one of these wholesalers asks me that, I go, I buy deals, bro.
So bring me.
I don't care what the criteria. Come at me with a deal and we'll talk about it.
Bring me a deal.
Does it mean I'm going to buy it? No, but are you looking to sell a property to your cash buyer in your first rodeo? If you are, you've already made the mistake. Your job is to build a relationship with that cash buyer, right? You want somebody you can go hang out with, play golf with sometimes, right? You're looking, because when that relationship is well established, that relationship is worth way more than that one transaction you're trying to do with that guy or gal to get a house done, right? You're trying to make an introduction. You want them to know that you're serious, and honestly, you want to find out how serious they are,
Good point.
You see all these posts on these Facebook groups, where are my cash buyers at in Detroit? And I've never seen that because I don't think people should be buying in Detroit, but like theoretically, right? You see that kind of stuff, right? And then everybody posts their email address. Oh, send me the deets on your deals, yada, yada. And 30, 40 people, 50 people are all responding. Half of them ain't got the cash, bro.
That's the rub. That's the rub. You got a lot of comments, got a lot of engagement.
Right. But you're not getting, it's like getting Instagram likes. It feels good.
Yeah, but
unless you're an Insta model, it don't pay that well, right? And even at an Insta model, some of these girls are selling themselves short. I ain't gonna lie to you, right?
Check out OnlyFans. You might be able to recoup.
It's all downhill from there. Anyway, yeah, man. So you find your cash buyers via these tools. You know which markets have a lot of cash buyers, right? And then you do an introduction. Yes, what's your buying criteria? That's one of them. But really, you should have a story. You should be able to tell people, how long you've been in the game, even if you're fresh out of the gate, right? Be honest with them. I'm just starting out, but I'm eager to put a deal together, or I put together 20 deals. I built some portfolios. You need to be able to give me the elevator pitch. And I promise you, the wholesalers that do that crush it with me, right? You call up, the game. Hey, I've done 50 deals. I've been providing. This is just an example of a deal I did, as opposed to the deal I'm trying to sell you right now. That will change the entire perception of that cash buyer interaction, okay? Because when you're pushing the deal du jour, as so many people call me and want to do, you're not telling me you're interested in a relationship, right? You're telling me that you're interested in making some money off of me, which I appreciate, because I'm interested in making some money off of you too, right? But I need you to know that my best wholesale relationships, including Mr. Winston right here, right now, have been around for years, right? And so when a deal comes at me from that corner, when Jonathan brings me a deal, I'm paying attention. It doesn't mean I buy all of them.
Right. He definitely doesn't, but that's all right.
Some of them just don't work. It just means that I have a solid relationship, so when you bring it to me, I'm going to evaluate it, right? Build that relationship first and then switch to sales mode.
Sure.
Right? So this started out as where's the money at? Like, which markets are the most cash buyers, but it's ending in a strategy that wholesalers should be employing on understanding rapport building with cash buyers. Because once you know where they're at, don't just try to pitch them something. Find out their interests, both in real estate and outside, and develop a relationship with that individual, so when you do have a deal, they want to take your call. They want to have a conversation with you about that deal. Because if you lead in with everything about you is just deals, I get deals all the time, guys. As a cash buyer, one of the largest cash buyers here in this marketplace, I get deals daily. Deals enough aren't going to get it done. I turn down more deals than I do. That's for certain. So don't take offense to that. If it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't work because the deal doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work because the timing doesn't work. You can't take that personally. Like, oh my gosh, I called this guy, he didn't buy my last 2 offerings. Don't treat it that way. Treat it like the relationship it's supposed to be. I've got it. Do you want it? Nah, man, I can't do this right now, but keep me on your list. Keep it going.
At the end of the day, we're talking about building that relationship with, that one cash buyer. What happens when you have 5 of those? What happens when you have a good connection with 5 people who consistently have the funds to buy your deals? They might not buy them all at this every time you bring them to, but take it to the first guy. Oh, I can't do it. Take it to the second guy. Oh, I can't do it. Take it to the third guy. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Right.
And you still made your assignment fee. You still, got a good compensation for the effort that you put into getting the deal.
Yep.
And you're, becoming and making yourself, more of a professional by being able to have these type of conversations and connections with people. So
absolutely. And remember, this is, ultimately, guys, you need to understand this is about making a name for yourself. Okay. Everybody starting out in the game starts out the same place. Wannabes, right? And I respect the wannabes because I was once a wannabe myself.
Right.
Okay. And that's all right. Don't, no shame in your game on that, right? We all got to start somewhere, but your objective is to stop being a wannabe and start being a player, right? And if you're going to become a player, you understand the relationships that you form early in your career are critical. They will make or break you, right? We had a couple guys sailing to town when Colorado Springs started running out of whack. They were in here, locking up properties on the market, that they had no buyer for. They were locking them up at the wrong prices, couldn't get them sold. I had a couple conversations with this dude. Like, man, they're going to run you out of this town, right? As soon as people find out it's you, nobody's going to accept your deal. I'm just trying to make my way. But you're not doing the numbers right, bro. You got to walk before you run, right? And I'm telling you this because I'm trying to be cool. Like, I don't even want to buy this deal because it ain't a deal, right? But the problem is you've tied it down. There's a real estate agent who's tied to this deal. They're going to be mad at you in a little bit if you don't find a buyer for this thing, right? You're going to tie up property. You're going to destroy your reputation. He was gone within 3 months, vaporized.
That's a short amount of time. That's 1 quarter, guys. You want to be in this game longer than that.
That's right. Right. So get in with longevity in mind. Listen, if this deal doesn't work for you, or even if you ain't got a deal, right? You're calling up and saying, I do want to know what you want to buy, but more importantly, I want to know about you. How does your process work, right? How do you manage these properties? Are you a fix and flip guy? Are you a buy and hold guy? And talk intelligently to them. And then the next time you call, that rapport will open the door for you. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to, here's a property, here's the offering. Do you want to buy it? Right? That will work too, but not as often as you think. Right? That relationship, you building relationships with 1 or 2 solid cash buyers, all you really need. At 4 or 5, you're invincible. Like you've got enough. You can bring in any property and know you're going to make your wholesale assignment fee, $5,000, $10,000, and you're going to make it real quick because cash buyers close fast, right? So yeah, sometimes my wholesalers come in, I can buy it, but I need 30 days right now. I need 45 days. Can you wait that long? If the answer is no, it's cool. No hard feelings. I don't take any deal and judge my relationship by one deal. I judge it by the overall time I've spent with that individual, the deals they brought me overall. Now you bring me a bunch of wood, which is code for the crap deals some of these wholesalers bring in. Don't sling wood. Nobody's interested in your wood, man. Right? Make sure it's a solid deal. But if you don't have any deals, make the relationship anyway. Establish it. You know, get that. You can find out those cash buyers are just like you and me, because I am one. We breathe the same air, put our pants on the same way. We like relationships. We like people just like you do, right? And if you come at me like a person, that will serve you a lot better than trying to come at me like a salesperson, right? So that's it. Where the money at? All over. But cash buyers are there. Some cities are really blowing off the charts. Check out this article. And if you're not in one of those cities, maybe consider moving. Just not to Detroit. It just don't make any sense, right? With that, this is Donny Corum.
Dude, I'm so glad that Detroit and Colorado are not close, man. They're coming down here, bro. They're coming for us.
What are they going with their basketball team? What, the Pistons going to come talk to me? Or maybe the Lions?
I know they can't shoot.
All right.
So the Pistons can't make a shot to save their lives.
They can shoot
so
otherwise,
we'll
though. Detroit don't play on the shooting arena. So.
I'm not going to 8 Mile, but we're all good.
His knees weak, palms are sweaty. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. This is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, reminding you now and always, don't buy a house, buy a deal.
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more of the mindset, methodology, and tools you'll need to invest in foreclosures. Visit foreclosuredealscoach.com and text DEAL to get a list of foreclosures in your area.